So if you're anything like me, getting to a golf course is the ultimate. It's the whole point of golf. It's where I've had some of my happiest times, my best memories, and it's just an absolute joy to be out on like green, verdant grass. However, when you get there, you do want to actually play some decent golf. It's very easy for me to say, and I try and say it to lessons as well, but deep down I kind of know there's a contradiction there. That when you're out on the golf course, you should be enjoying it, you should be loving the fact that you're out there. But if you don't play well, it's hard to do that. So that's why people practice. However, many people do not get the most out of their practice session. And that's what this video is all about. Now, the first thing I want you to do is save the link on this video because there's so much information in there, you might want to revisit it a few times. But it's designed to help you understand why you might not be able to transfer your range game onto the golf course or why you might not be practicing effectively. I'm going to head down to my local driving range, which is Trafford Golf Centre. So let's get down to the range. Let me talk you through this Tour Pro range session and then we'll reconvene afterwards.
So quick tip, if you are going down to the range, make sure you stay caffeinated and hydrated. Not a combination that normally goes that well together, but caffeine before performance, so whether you played in a comp, whether you're practicing, it is shown scientifically, clever people, not me, have explained the positive benefits of having caffeine before a physical activity. And there is also an added advantage because it is freezing. Now down at Trafford, they've got top tracer bays, but I've taken advantage of the right-hand side of the bay. They're doing some repair work and they've kindly let me come down here and do some filming so I don't really disturb anybody. But the top tracer bays, it is something that I would recommend. If you've got a driving range nearby that has that technology, please take advantage because it makes it so much easier to play games, to keep that competitive edge to your practice. You need that so much. Now, I'm only going to be hitting 100 balls. You might be thinking 100 balls, that's quite a lot, but I'm going to be doing that over 2 hours. And I had a little chat with Matt Fryer, who coaches down here.
Practicing biggest mistakes I'll see down at the range, no purpose. Number one, coming down and treating it a bit like an artillery range. They get 100 balls, let's say, and they're gone in under 20 minutes half the time. I get guys and girls in the teaching bay that before the ball's even landed, the next one's on the tee and they're ready to hit it. So I think coming down and having some purpose to start off with instead of just whack, whack, whack is a big one that I'd like to see people improve. You know, maybe segmenting it, a bit of pressure, playing some games, trying to emulate what you would feel on the golf course instead of just hitting willy-nilly and it didn't go to plan, scoop another one in and not do it.
Nothing willy-nilly.
Nothing willy-nilly.
And get down here and don't whack, whack, whack.
Yes, exactly. Less whacking and more purpose.
Okay. So let's get to it, and the first pro game from none other than Tiger Woods. So I've already done this to get some B-roll, so I'm not going to be hitting as many as I recommend that you hit. Now, the first thing that Tiger does when he gets to a practice session, when he gets to a warm-up session, he just takes his lob wedge. He has a little lazy, delicate swing with the lob wedge. Just hands and arms, just letting that club slide under the ball. He aims down the driving range, does not pick a specific target. Now, I'm on the top level here because it looks a little bit more dramatic. It's a lot easier to do this when you're at ground level. That little semi-flop, just out there, it doesn't really matter where. But then what he does is he notices where it lands, and then what he tries to do is hit to that target, repeats the same little swing, and just tries to get it landing nearby. So this is a very gentle introduction to your practice session, and this follows, hopefully, you've done a little bit of stretching, you've done a bit of warming up. Again, it comes down to how much preparation you actually want to put into it. And I want you to hit 14 of these shots. So the first shot, just lazily out there. The second shot, you're trying to hit your first ball. Now the next one involves this. So this is just a normal golf towel, but it's big enough to be able to stretch under both arms. So a beautiful grey boob tube. And this pro tip's from Jason Day. So I think Jason Day has got one of the most beautiful pro pitching and chipping techniques. And this is all about using those big muscles. So turning the body back keeping the arms linked into the body, turning the body through, and actually powering the stroke, powering the technique with the big muscles. Now I've got my lob wedge here, but I do want you to switch between clubs as well. So you can hit your first shot with a lob wedge, then a sand wedge, gap wedge, and pick a target out there on the range that you can actually reach as well. So I want you to make this quite target orientated. Now I only want you to hit 10 shots using this as a block practice. However, I want you to be backing it up with about 50 practice swings. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the ball position central in my stance. I'm gonna put 60% of weight on my front foot, and I'm just gonna lean my hand slightly ahead of the ball. I'm talking slightly. Slide that club underneath the ball. So remember, that's 10 shots with those countless practice swings. Now what I want you to do is actually get a pitching wedge and just ramp up the difficulty very slightly. Hit 9 further shots with your pitching wedge with the same technique, but there's one key crucial difference that you're going to make. First shot, it's going to be the same setup. Ball position central, same setup. On the second shot, what I want you to do is move that ball position slightly further back. So it's going to be between the center of your stance and your right heel, if you're right-handed. Same technique, just trying to skim that club through, but notice the difference in trajectory. And on the third shot, it's going to go off the back heel. Notice the trajectory difference. And then you're going to do something which I hope everyone will at least take on board. Get your phone, get a notepad, whatever you feel more comfortable with and that you can have to hand the next time you practice, and write down what you actually scored, write down what you actually did within that 9-ball test. The next time you come to practice, you know where your weakness lies. Now, the next pro tip is coming from Iron Master Striker himself, Mr. Henrik Stenson. Now, this is the simplest and I would say probably the most obvious of the tips. However, it is amazing how infrequently people actually think about it. Now, this is about aim. So what you want to be doing is getting some alignment sticks. I have these beautiful Colin Montgomery alignment sticks. Just makes me smile every time I get them out. I hope he actually charged quite a lot of money for that because they sell like hotcakes on Amazon. Burger and chips. Oh, burger and chips. And put them down in parallel lines, not at the ball, but just either side of where your feet are actually likely to be on the mat. Go through your routine 10 times, picking out a point just in front of your ball where you're going to be aiming the club face. Now I want you to look down at the target, try and get the feeling of what this will be like, then just check the knees, the hips, the shoulders, and then take a step away. So don't actually hit the shot. So I want you to get used to what an actual parallel alignment might be like, because you might not be doing it. And this is based on you needing parallel alignment. Remember, if you are working with a coach, check that with them. You might not actually need to be in parallel. You might actually need to be in right, left, whatever it may be. But then on the actual practice game, which is going to be 10 shots, what I want you to do is to move that block around to different targets on the range. Remember, the feet need to be parallel and left of your target, like train tracks. But on the game situation, what I want you to do is actually pull the trigger as well. It's going to get you used to going through your routine. It's going to get you used to committing to a shot. And then again, note down the results. Note down what you actually achieve. And if you can't get used to it, if you feel, God, I'm aiming too far left or I'm aiming too far right, the ball's going left, the ball's going right, again, it gives you something to work on. Next pro tip is going to be, it feels so weird. What am I looking at? Am I looking at, if I look at, so I can't look at myself. If I look at myself, I'm going to have to look in the lens there, right, okay. Now, next pro tip is from Ben Hogan. Now, the reason that I'm looking into a mirror is because Hogan used to use mirrors while he was practicing. He knew the importance of feedback. Way too many golfers who just go to the driving range, just hit shots without videoing their swing, without looking at their swing, without getting lessons. It's almost impossible to get accurate feedback over what the swing is doing. Now, you don't need to surround yourself with mirrors, but by now, you're probably watching this on a phone, which is more than capable of taking a video of your swing. And you also need to be working on something within your swing. 20 shots in block practice, but video every single one. Stop after every single shot, review your swing. Because what you can do is review your swing. Again, if you know what you're looking for, get yourself a lesson and actually see if you're making the move that you want to. And for the game within the Hogan practice, switch off the camera, pick a target. If it's successful, give yourself a little fist pump. So we're on to the driver and the 3-wood, and who else to turn to but the great man himself, Rory McIlroy, one of the best drivers in the world of a golf ball. I don't know what it's like in a for Mondeo. We can wax lyrical about how Rory rotates through the ball so well, but that's not the point of this. This is all going to be about the width that he can get within his backswing. So when Rory turns away and when he gets this beautiful width, he does it by rotating his body as well as stretching his arms out. If you just stretch your arms out, they become disconnected, they whip inside. Turn the body away and you actually stretch those arms out at the same time, then you can achieve that maximum amount of width that you're going to be after. Woo. And there's also something else that I want you to pay attention to. Look at my left heel. Allowing that left heel to come up can actually help you load into your right side more effectively. This isn't about lifting the heel and pushing the hips forward. This is about lifting the heel, loading into that right side as you turn away and stretch with that massive amount of width. Oh, jeez, it's getting cold. And again, decrease the amount of block practice that you do with it. So 5 shots with your 3-wood, 5 shots with your driver, but back it up again with 5 practice swings. We are talking about hard, grinding graft here. So many practice swings that you're gonna, I don't know, have lots of practice swings or something, but it's going to help you ingrain that feeling.
So we've got 9 balls left to actually make the most of. Now what I want you to see here, I'm going to zoom in, the iPhone's probably not best in low light, but you can see here 3 250-yard markers, 1, 2, 3.
Now between those 2 targets you can imagine fairways. So what I want you to do is take your 3-wood, hit 3 shots between the left-hand fairway, try and get as many as you can out of 3, 2 out of 3 would be amazing. And then the right-hand fairway, hit the driver, try and get 2 out of 3. Make a note of it, and then you've got 6 balls left remaining in your practice session. Try and beat your previous score.
So guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you found this video interesting. Like I said, packed full of information, drills, tour pro tips. So remember to save the video and come back to it if you need to. If you are new to the channel or you are returning watching and you haven't yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button, that like button, and follow me on my other social media platforms as well. And I'm just going to let the video linger here just with a full breakdown of that practice session so you can save it, screenshot it, and then give it a go. Okie dokie. Wonderful. Bye-bye.